Famous celebrities who passed away in 1978. Zara Cully. She was born in January 1892 and she died in February 1978. The reason of her death were natural causes. By the time of her death, her age was 86. She was a famous actress. Bob Crane. He was born in July 1928 and he died in June 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 49 and the reason of his death was murder. He was a famous actor. Carl Betts. He was born in March 1921 and he died in January 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 56 and the reason of his death was lung cancer. He was a famous actor. Ed Wood. He was born in October 1924 and he died in December 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 54 and the reason of his death was heart attack. He was a famous director. Will Geer. He was born in March 1902 and he died in April 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 76 and the reason of his death was respiratory failure. He was a famous actor. Gig Young. He was born in November 1913 and he died in October 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 64. The reason of his death was a mystery. It wasn't clear whether he was murdered or he did a suicide. He was a famous actor. Carl Swenson. He was born in July 1908 and he died in October 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 70 and the reason of his death was heart failure. He was a famous actor. Wendy Barry. She was born in April 1912 and she died in February 1978. By the time of her death, her age was 65 and the reason of her death was pneumonia. She was a famous actress. Norman Rockwell. He was born in February 1894 and he died in November 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 84 and the reason of his death was emphysema. He was a famous artist. Keith Moon. He was born in August 1946 and he died in September 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 32 and the reason of his death was drug overdose. He was a famous musician. Louis Prima. He was born in December 1910 and he died in August 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 67 and the reason of his death was stroke. He was a famous musician. Terry Kath. He was born in January 1946 and he died in January 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 31 and the reason of his death was accidental self-inflicted gunshot. He was a famous musician. Doris Warner. She was born in July 1899 and she died in March 1978. By the time of her death, her age was 78 and the reason of her death was a stroke. She was a famous businesswoman from the Warner Brothers. Hubert Humphrey. He was born in May 1911 and he died in January 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 66, and the reason of his death was cancer. He was a famous politician and Vice President of United States. Robert Menzies. He was born in December 1894 and he died in May 1978. By the time of his death, his age was 83, and the reason of his death was heart failure. He was a famous politician and the Prime Minister of Australia. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.